Hi, this is Jared.
And this is Eli.
And this is JetsChat.
And today we're going to be talking about the Jets' loss to the Carolina Panthers. This is week one, no overreactions, but the Jets did lose 19-14. They came out weak. I mean, I'm not going to say it anyway. I'm not going to say like it was good. I mean, they came out really weak. They were not prepared. I mean, the first half, they were just atrocious, okay? I mean, they could not move the ball. They had like 80 total yards of offense. Zach Wilson had like a 30% completion percentage. The line was averaging like 2 seconds of pass protection. They just weren't doing good. Wilson was running for his life like a chicken without a head. Second half, they came back a bit. I mean, they looked much better, especially Zach Wilson. They ended up outscoring the Panthers 14-3 in the second half, brought it back a bit, but the game was too far gone. Zach Wilson's stats, he went 20 for 37 with a 54.1% completion percentage.
QBR of 28.9.
Which is atrocious.
Yeah, not good.
He had two passing touchdowns and one interception. You know, a lot of his passes were just dropped. He had like 10. I don't know if 10, that's a bit high, but like 5 to 10 passes that were placed perfectly, that were just dropped. Off the top of my head, Corey Davis had one, Elijah Moore had 3. The receivers just did not play well. The line didn't play well. It was like Super Bowl 55.
Well, I mean, to be fair, it was his first NFL game, right? So, as I was telling you, just to get into it, I mean, I know, just so we know, I'm not really going to get upset about too much this year. I mean, I'm rooting, as I said with the first podcast, I was rooting for a winning season, but I have low expectations. I think you do too. I mean, half the team right now, the Jets, I just read an article, they're the youngest team, and I think almost half the starters are going to be first and second year. So we should have low expectations for them winning. Honestly, you know, they came out, you know, I think all they had their little butterflies and their jitters. You know, this is Zach Wilson's first NFL game, and the offensive line really hasn't played much in the preseason. I think we both agree. So, you know, it's going to take a little bit. You can see the second half when they started to kind of settle down. I mean, this is a young team. I think they all need to kind of just settle down. And it's also for Salah and stuff to learn how, you know, now we're coaching with the big boys. You know, it's one thing to, you know, do preseason when you're playing against, you know, second and third stringers, but now you're playing against first stringers, you know, where they're preparing for you. And I think it was a little bit of a wake-up call, right? I would say a little bit. But you can see as they settled in, they did improve. I mean, his stats aren't horrible. His QBR is 28.9, but he still passed 258 yards, which is actually better than most of Darnold's games. And he had,
it's only 20 yards less than Darnold.
Yeah. And, you know, so he improved. He got better, and I think he will progressively get better. So I'm not really upset about the loss. I mean, it was a close game. It was in Carolina. Right. So, and both teams have a ton of time to prepare. Defensively, I mean, they only gave Carolina 19 points. So defensively, that's actually pretty good, would you say? I mean,
yeah, especially they have DJ Moore, Robbie Anderson, Christian McCaffrey. They have tons of weapons.
So we always say the weaker part of the Jets are defense, you would say, right?
Yeah, but
I'm just saying, so sure, I like this win, especially when I was hoping for them to win 8 games. I think Carolina's was one of the important wins personally, because I think they're one of the weaker teams with Darnold. But they didn't. But as I said, I'm okay with it. I mean, sure, you're never okay with a loss, but, you know, I'm not going to get worked up over game 1.
I think I'm nervous, and I'm nervous for Wilson because it reminds me of Joe Burrow last year. He's just getting hit every single play. I don't know how long his body will last if the line does not improve. I could see him tearing an ACL, honestly, down there. I don't even know if
he has to. Listen, that's true. You got to have an offensive line, and their offensive line is okay if they're all working together, right? If they're all well organized. If they're not, it's a horrible offensive line, right? I mean, it's not, you know, you got Barrett Tucker, you got, you know, Becton.
Now he's out,
and I don't know. I think Becton's going to end up being a bust personally, but he just not that he's. I think he's a star, you know, tackle, but he's made like butter. He just can't stay on the field, and I predict he's going to last for a couple of years and just keep on getting injured, and then he'll just disappear. I just don't think his body is designed, you know, to handle 17 NFL games. Yeah. I mean, so I'm just saying, but that's a side note. We'll talk about that another time. I think he's a great player. So they're two different things. So that's what I would say. It doesn't matter how good you are if you can't stay on the field. it doesn't matter if you're the best player. If you don't play, it's irrelevant. So if he's constantly, getting out of every single game because he has some sort of little injury or little knack, he's not going to last. And so far, I haven't seen anything for him to be able to hold up to an NFL schedule. So I think he's going to end up being another bust. But maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see. Maybe he's just going to fluke. But anyway, so
this game reminded me of Super Bowl 55, compared to the Chiefs, right?
I wish we were in the Super Bowl.
But Patrick Mahomes was just running for his life, and he was making actually good throws, right? He was juking out defenders, making good throws, but his receivers were dropping endless balls, and the linemen were not blocking for him, and that's what it was. I don't think Wilson played poorly. I think his team played poorly, and I also heard that he had to call players to the huddle. He had to yell at some of the offensive linemen, and they were just being lazy and were walking slowly.
All right. Well, yeah. Let's see.
So I just think it was a very sluggish, lazy game.
Well, that's and that's up to the coaching staff, and we don't. That's all here's. I mean, it's up to the coaching staff to get things going. This is the first game. Salah's a rookie coach. Let's see how he does.
He did not look happy. Salah looked mad.
Good. He needs to. Well, he needs to learn. You can't be friends with your players. You got to coach your players, or they'll take advantage of you. It's like a job. If you're too friendly with your employees, they'll just eat you up. You got to be the boss. That's the hard part. That I think he's gonna have to learn that now that he's the coach. Right. It's a fine line between being good friends with the players and also being the boss. And he has to figure that out, and that's not for us. I don't want to say how he is. I don't know. He could be very, very strict and tough. I don't know. So that's just, you just hear that he's very, very friendly with the players and stuff like that. But what do I know? I'm not in the,
He reminded me just on the eye test. Wilson, I know this is a very lofty comparison and stuff, but he kind of reminded me of Mahomes. The way he throws off platform and he's getting out of the pocket. And that's a very high praise, but I think what he needs to do is he needs to stop playing so much hero ball. He was sacked 6 times. I would say probably around 4 of those sacks.
Well, you were just telling me about look at all the rookies how many passes they were doing, right? You were just saying.
Yeah. So they all were going for crazy amount of passing attempts.
It's a passing league now, so you have to be careful, But anyway, so the bottom line is, and as I said, so what we're going to do is as I said, just to get you guys a little bit familiar with us again, I figured what we'll do is we'll probably do like just after the game, just a 5 to 10 minute, podcast, just talking about the game a little bit and how we feel about the game. And then on Thursday, we'll do a longer, like 30-minute discussing kind of what's going on throughout the week with the Jets. So I kind of want to cut it off. I don't want to do it too long and too extensive of it. We can talk more in depth about the game and other types of stuff on Thursday, but just our initial reactions of after we sit with the game and how we like it. As I said, the first half, you got a lot of jitters. You got a lot of young players, young coaches, right? This is just a ridiculously young team. So they're going to just come out all jittery. And they settled down and they improved. And we'll see how they do. Who's game 2? I don't know if that might.
New England. And Mac Jones looked very
talk about
game manager.
I don't want to talk about that, right? We're just doing a 5 to 10 minutes on the Jets. So that's we don't need to talk about that. If you want to throw in a little bit of Mac Jones, because we can talk a little bit about that type of stuff. Who are playing more on Thursday.
Yes.
I don't know why I clapped. That's probably pretty loud in the microphone. Anyway, that's really about it for me. I don't know if you want to say anything else.
No, I don't have any more words.
That was. Can I say that recording? You just said I don't have any more words. My son does not have any more words. Let me just record that. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Anyway, all right. This is Jared,
and this is Eli,
and this is JetsChat.